This is not a love story. Not in any way you'd want one to be. It begins with a nurse, morbidly obese, emotionally damaged, and starved for affection. Her name was Martha Beck. And she was desperate enough to fall for a man who would eventually murder with her, lie for her, and die beside her. Welcome to the Redline Report. Today, we tell the disturbing tale of the Lonely Hearts Killers, a pair whose twisted idea of romance turned into a trail of blood, deception, and death. In 1947, Martha Beck placed a Lonely Hearts ad, one of many personal ads aimed at desperate romantics looking for companionship. Her ad caught the eye of Raymond Fernandez, a gigolo with a shady past and darker intentions. Raymond wasn't just a con man. He believed he had actual occult power over women, thanks to a head injury and a brief stint in voodoo. Whether it was delusion or a manipulative tactic, it worked. He answered Martha's ad, and they fell into a whirlwind romance. But what started as letters soon became something far more sinister. Martha was willing to do anything for love, and Raymond? He was willing to kill for profit. Martha abandoned her children to follow Fernandez. She told her family she'd found true love. What she'd actually found was a purpose, twisted, tragic, and ultimately fatal. The two hit the road. Their grift was simple. Fernandez would woo women through Lonely Hearts ads, pretending to be a wealthy, charming bachelor. Martha? She posed as his sister, there to give him credibility. They'd gain the victim's trust. Then take everything they could. At first, it was just money, jewelry, inheritances. But it didn't stop there. In January of 1949, their crimes took a deadly turn. Raymond had seduced an older woman named Janet Faye. She was a devout Catholic and believed marriage was on the table. He moved in with her, and so did Martha. But jealousy flared. When Martha caught Raymond in bed with Janet, something inside her snapped. She struck Janet in the head with a ball-peen hammer. Raymond finished the job, garroting Janet with a scarf. From that point on, they were no longer just con artists. They were killers. And they didn't stop. Their next victims were Delphine Downing, a widow, and her 2-year-old daughter, Raynell. Delphine had grown suspicious. Fernandez had drugged her to keep her quiet. The child began crying. Martha, ever jealous and unstable, strangled the child in a blind rage. When Delphine regained consciousness and found her daughter dead, Fernandez shot her in the head. It was the beginning of the end. Neighbors had grown suspicious. The police were called. Fernandez and Beck were arrested shortly after. What followed was a tabloid sensation. The press dubbed them the Lonely Hearts Killers, a name that stuck, haunting and cruel. In court, their love story was paraded out alongside photos of corpses and confessions of guilt. Fernandez tried to play the charmer. Beck? She never stopped professing her love. Even as the evidence mounted, even as the sentence became inevitable, she clung to her fantasy. They were convicted of first-degree murder. On March 8, 1951, they were executed side by side in the electric chair at Sing Sing prison. Beck was unwavering in her devotion to Fernandez until the end. She once said, "My story is a love story, but only those tortured with love can understand what I mean." And yet, there's one last twist to this already disturbing saga. In 1970, composer Leonard Castle turned their grim tale into a film, The Honeymoon Killers. Shot in grainy black and white, it stripped away all glamour and exposed the raw ugliness of their crimes. Shirley Stoller played Beck like a monstrous force of nature. Tony Lo Bianco captured Fernandez's oily, magnetic charm. It wasn't Bonnie and Clyde. It wasn't romantic. It was grim, honest, and disturbing. Even François Truffaut, the French New Wave director, called it his favorite American film. It's hard to watch The Honeymoon Killers and not feel like you need a shower afterward. And maybe that's the point. Some love stories are better left untold. Some crimes leave a stain that no celluloid can clean. This has been the Redline Report. If you found this story as haunting as we did, like and subscribe for more deep dives into the darkest corners of human behavior. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, not all hearts are lonely for the right reasons.